La 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 la. Bonjour. Question words in French. Okay, check this out. I had a dream last night. I dreamt that we lived in a world where people stopped questioning why they did what they did. They stopped questioning to whom they were giving their hard-earned money and for what purpose. On the surface, that world seemed very peaceful. Except that when you looked a bit closer, you realized that people were sleepwalking their own lives, doing the same things every day, all over again, getting stuck in negative feedback loops, ending up exploited by soul-deprived demons who understood full well the power of asking the right questions. And, of course, I'll let you fill in the holes in that story because then I woke up and I don't know how it ends. And in this lesson, consequently, we're taking a closer look at question words in French. I hope you're ready. Let's get busy. Les mots interrogatifs. Question words. What are they? Well, question words introduce an interrogative sentence. They can be divided in 3 categories, and we're going to cover a bunch of them today. You're going to see it's quite entertaining because questions are so important to ask in general in life. Much more interesting to ask the right question than to come up with the right answer, in my opinion. So in this video, we're going to start with the interrogative adjectives, which start here with quel, which would be the equivalent of which. In English, can be also translated what, depending on the context. And we have 4 types here because unlike English, French knows gender, so we have masculine and feminine, singular masculine quel, plurals quel, same pronunciation, quelle, same pronunciation for the feminine. You notice that I'm not saying quelle, I'm saying quel, just like the masculine form. And in the plural form, we have quel. Again, you cannot tell only by listening if it's going to be masculine, feminine, or plural form. This is why in France we really have to pay attention to the context and pay close attention also to the way the words end, because that gives us precious information as to whether we're talking about several things or a masculine thing or a feminine thing, etc. And let's take an example. Which robot dog will you buy your robot's robot? En français, it becomes, and try to repeat after me, just to practice pronunciation. Quel chien, robot, achèterez-vous? That word is not easy. That verb is not easy. Achèterez-vous au robot de votre robot? Which robot dog will you buy your robot's robot? Here we have, I'll let you guess, what gender is it? Is it feminine or masculine? Okay, I'll show you the table again. Yes, you guessed it, it's masculine singular. Quel chien robot? It's un chien, it's a masculine word in singular form. Achèterez-vous au robot de votre robot? First, interrogative adjective here. Now, what time is it? Quelle heure est-il? In French. And here it's word by word, the translation. Notice how French and English can merge together until they split. But in this case, it's really nice to see that it's just word for word the exact translation. Quelle heure est-il? And here, you guessed it, heure is a feminine word, une heure. And it's pretty obvious when you think about it that you have to agree the gender of a word with an adjective, because in French that's the way it goes. And I constantly remind people to do that because usually they come from the English language and it can be confusing. Second type of question words are les pronoms interrogatifs. interrogative pronouns. And here we're going to start with lequel, becomes lesquels. In the plural form, laquelle, lesquels, plural feminine. We also have duquel, desquels, de laquelle, desquels. And here, we're tapping into interrogative pronouns that are a bit more complex to master for the newcomers on the French scene. So that means that we're just going to focus on lequel in this one, and we'll have other videos that talk about relative pronouns and compound relative pronouns. And you'll find a link in the description of this video just to know more about those kind of pronouns. Now, we have a sentence here which will translate laquelle. Here are two neckband speakers. Which one will you bend? It's a common question. Voici deux enceintes tour de cou. And those are pretty nice, right? It's those neckband speakers that you see people boast with in the street, and they're listening to usually tango music or classical music. That happens these days. And voici deux enceintes tour de cou. Laquelle plieras-tu is a translation in French. Which one becomes laquelle? Okay, if it had been which ones, it could have been lesquels, because as you see, we have lesquels here in the table. And next one, we have qui. Alors, qui translates to who in English. Who repaired my drone without tools? Who did that? Qui a réparé mon drone sans outils? Easy, qui. Quoi? What are you thinking about? Quoi is what? À quoi tu penses? And notice how it starts here. It starts with a preposition. I'm not starting with a question word, but a preposition. How strange is that? How exotic is it? It's pretty exotic to me. To what are you thinking would be the equivalent in English. And this is something that you're going to need to practice a bit to get comfortable with the idea of starting sometimes a question sentence, an interrogative sentence with a preposition rather than the question word. But it also applies to English. You could start a sentence saying, to whom are you buying this robot? Or for whom are you buying this robot? But here in French, it's pretty common. Où translates to where. Where is the detonator? Où est le détonateur? And once again, word for word, a translation word for word. Pretty easy. Now, how do you use que? How do you use what in French? Well, we're going to take that example. What do you want to program today? Que veux-tu programmer aujourd'hui? And as you noticed, what translates que, but it can also translate quoi. And there's no one interrogative pronoun or adjective or other types of interrogative words that translate to one specific French word all the time. Sometimes it can change, so you gotta keep your eyes open. And once you've cracked question words in French, you're gonna see that you're good to go, you're ready to take off and start interviewing people, which is a pretty fun activity to do once you start learning a language, to remove the burden of the conversation to rest on your shoulders. You can rest on other people to talk, and this is done through the magic of question words and interrogative sentences. Finally, we have the third kind of interrogative words in French. It's les adverbes interrogatifs, like combien, how much, how many, how much time do you have left? And there's a website that I'll leave in the description down below. It's a website that tells you how long, in theory, you have left before you die. It's kind of dark, but it's pretty entertaining. And of course, this website does not take into account the magic of science and the new therapies of that are in the way to cure aging, of course. But it's still pretty entertaining to do with friends. And combien de temps il te reste is how it translates here into French. Combien, how much, but also how many. Do not confuse them. In French, it's a bit different. We can use both. to translate combien. How many cyber whales do these .com tycoons claim to carbunculate yearly? Combien, how many, combien de cyberbaleines? Try to repeat after me on that one, just that first beginning of the sentence. Combien de cyberbaleines? I think I heard you. Ces magnats de l'e-business prétendent-ils charbonner chaque année? This is almost done. Now we have comment. It's how, what in English. How do you save time? Comment économises-tu du temps? It's a great question to ask. Comment économises-tu du temps? Second one, Jack, what's your name? Jack. Comment tu t'appelles, Jack? Jack? What? Comment? All right. Very important question too. Comment tu t'appelles? Then we have why. Why? And I keep asking that question all the time. Why do you like this thing? Because it's an open question. It's very, very nice to ask open questions to feed the conversation, to get the ball rolling. Why not invest in sodium sulfur batteries now? I'm asking you this question. Pourquoi ne pas investir dans les batteries sodium-soufre maintenant? And last but not least, we have when, which is quand in French. So when you see sounds, what do you feel? Quand tu vois des sons, que ressens-tu? Quand tu vois des sons, que ressens-tu? When is quand? And drum roll. This is almost done. Actually, that's all for today, except for the exercise that I made specifically, específicamente español, especially for you that you might not have completed yet. The link is below the video, so good luck and let me know.